Alright, forget No Man's Sky. Space Hulk Deathwing is the most disappointing game of 2016, at least to me. Now, No Man's Sky was a huge travesty, but nothing compares to how excited I was for this game, and that's mostly my fault, don't get me wrong. I kind of bought in on the hype on this one, and I thought that it would just basically be like Vermintide, but in space. In some regards, it is, and in other regards, it's an unoptimized, poorly created, and really just boring affair with nothing going for it whatsoever, aside from it being a 40k game. Now, I don't know anything about 40k. This is actually the first, full 40k game I've ever played, so I'm not going to be talking about how it's, not conducive with the lore or anything, pointing any of that out, because I don't know nothing about it. I know absolutely 0% of things about 40k. However, I know things about when a game is, subpar, not created well. It's a piece of poop, and, that's, unfortunately, the majority of this game so far for me. I've played for about an hour and a half, and I really don't want to play anymore because it makes me sad every time I try to get further in the game. And it doesn't make me sad because it's like a 0 out of 10 completely bad bargain bin title. I think it'll get there pretty quickly, but the unfortunate part is that it's got some good qualities to it that are just mired in it being extremely unoptimized and just not fun. There's so many technical aspects that hamper any fun you're gonna have in the game, and that really comes down to how it was optimized for at least the PC platform. I don't know how it's performing on consoles, but on PC, it's definitely performing at very subpar frame rates. It's dropping below 30 for me a lot, and that's not even when there's like a crap ton of enemies on the screen. It'll just do that randomly, but then of course when there is more than 5 enemies on the screen, it'll drop below 30 as well. And even before that, there's very few sections where it'll get up past 45. This is on full settings for me too. I'm running a brand new 1070, so it shouldn't really be doing that, and I can run a lot better games that look a lot better than this one at least 60 and above. Now, that's not to say that it might not run perfectly for you. It might, but I highly doubt it is, and that's really disappointing, especially since Vermintide, for the most part, ran really well. And aside from that, it just feels like the game is really not finished at all. It feels like it was rushed out, and there's a lot of glaring issues. Of course, the performance being one of the bigger ones there, but other things as well, like not being able to save your game at specific points and things like that, only being able to have one campaign spot as well. That's really stupid. I have no idea why I can't have multiple campaigns going at once. It's 2016, nearly 2017, that should really be an option. And, other little things, like when you're wandering around and you want to look around, and the dot in the middle of your screen, the reticle, decides that it wants to have a goddamn seizure every time you look at absolutely anything, because it can't stay in place. It's the most distracting thing I've seen in a game in a long time. The gunplay actually feels kinda good, I have a lot of fun shooting at things. It's just you can't see what you're shooting at because there's so many gore effects and explosions and muzzle flashes on the screen, and even that to me is totally fine. It's not that big a deal, but when you couple that with a low frame rate of 25 or even below, then that gets way too difficult to deal with, and you end up not having any clue what's going on, as everything turns into a slideshow of red and bright white flashes, and it's really just hard to play the game. And like I said, it's really a shame because I was looking forward to this one, and it's got a lot going for it behind the scenes as well, the storyline I enjoy. It really is Vermintide in space. It just doesn't run well enough to, be good, and it's really unfortunate. I love the idea of 40k. It's making me want to look more into the universe. I like being able to just go into these space hulks and see what things try to kill me. It's got a great aesthetic going for it. The developers obviously took a lot of care and time to create the levels and the set pieces, adding in some little details everywhere, and as a production, it looks decently good. But as a product that had to be, created and then maintained after they created the assets, after they created the levels, it fails in almost every aspect, and that's super disappointing. So that's where I'm at with Space Hulk Deathwing right now. What do you guys think about it if you've had the chance to play it? Are you going to be picking it up? And if you do, I'm just going to tell you right now, look at the reviews first and make it sure you know what you're getting into, because I can't tell you everything about this game. This is like a very early first impression video, not a review at all. You should be looking into that, and in my first impressions, though, I gotta say, very disappointed. Kinda saw it coming after the beta access, but still, doesn't really make things any better. Alright, that's gonna do it for me. I am PattyJack, and I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.